Here I am in the Ships of the Sea Maritime Museum in Savannah, Georgia, next to the full-scale model of the Pulaski. Discovering untold stories is like having a great secret whispered in your ear. And this story is one of those secrets. My new novel, Surviving Savannah, is inspired by the true and forgotten-to-time saga of a luxury steamship with the nickname the Titanic of the South. But her real name was the steamship Pulaski. Here in Savannah, Georgia, on the river's wharf, one balmy June morning in 1838, this beautiful ship set sail and began its 3-day journey to Baltimore. It was to dock overnight in Charleston and pick up more passengers, and then was to be only one night at sea until reaching the north. This was part of the ship's allure. A luxury ship with only one night at sea to escape the cruel southern summers. She was the talk of the town. She had already made 3 journeys, and everyone expected an easy and luxurious trip. But what we expect and what we get are rarely the same, and thus the makings of a story. In the middle of the night on June 14th, with close to 200 passengers on board, this steamship exploded off the coast of North Carolina. About 1/3 of the passengers and crews survived. When I learned about this little-known story, I was immediately fascinated because I realized how close to home it was, right here in my towns of Savannah, Georgia, and Bluffton, South Carolina, and how its tale had never been fully told. I was 3 weeks into my research, tinkering with the idea, researching local families and plotting, when I sat down one early morning at my desk and hit on a headline. Pulaski wreck found by Endurance Exploration. A shipwreck hunting company had found the Pulaski at the bottom of the sea, 100 feet deep, 30 miles off the coast of Wilmington, North Carolina. Chills ran up my neck. While I was researching the story, they were researching the sea. My exhilarating hunt for the forgotten story began. While the ship's artifacts, gold, silver, pocket watches, and treasure were being discovered and brought to the surface, I rushed here to the Ships of the Sea Maritime Museum to see the ship's model and find information, and then to the Georgia Historical Society in Savannah to sift through the ancient papers, trying to find the full truth of that calamitous night. What I discovered, among many other tales, was the story of a very real Savannah family who brought me closer to the tragedy. In my novel, they are renamed the Longstreet family, a father with his wife, 6 children, sister, and niece, who traveled on this ship, and not everyone survived. But among those who did survive was the oldest son, a 14-year-old boy named Charles. He spent 5 harrowing days and nights at sea, not only living through the hell, but also helping others to survive, earning him the nickname, the Noble Boy. And then here's the kicker. 25 years later, that same boy, now a man, had a new nickname, the Red Devil. He became a cruel slave importer and trader. He also joined the Fire Eaters as a rabble-rouser for the Civil War. In a short 20 years, this saved child had transformed from Noble Boy to Red Devil. And this is when I knew what the story was really about. How do we survive the surviving? Who do we choose to become after tragedy? After years of research, reading, writing, and digging, I finally put together the events of that doomed journey. With a dual timeline and a modern-day museum curator designing an exhibit of the artifacts, alongside the stories of the Longstreet family in 1838, I look much closer at our collective ideas that survival merits some kind of worthiness, that everything happens for a reason, and that our lives are destined to end up in certain ways. All with the backdrop of the beloved and mystical city of Savannah, then and now. I hope you love this story as much as I do.